grade 2s. Today's lesson is all about writing stories with entertaining beginnings. There are 4 ways that I'm going to teach you that writers create stories with entertaining beginnings. So this lesson is called Starting Off on the Right Foot. 4 ways writers create entertaining beginnings. First of all, why is it important that when writers write a story, they start off with something entertaining? Why? Because readers have many, many choices. There are tons of books out there that a reader can choose to read, and they want to read something that's interesting and pulls them in right away. So, why would they want to read a boring book? We're going to talk today about ways to spice it up. There are 4 of them. Number 1, action. What action means is that your character does something that's interesting. So today I'm going to use the example of going on a hike in the forest. If I'm going to start a story about going to the forest and my main event is going to be something that happens in the forest, I'm not going to start off with a boring sentence like, I went to the forest. Boring. It doesn't make my reader want to keep on reading the story. Instead, I could have my character do something. Instead, I would have them say, I tiptoed through the deep, dark forest, looking this way and that. It makes you think, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. Oh my gosh, it kind of gives you a sense of suspense, and you want to know what's going to happen next. So that's way number 1, action. Your character does something. You ask the question, what is my character doing? And you answer that question right away. Number 2, sound. A really exciting sound effect grabs your reader's attention. A bam or a boom, or even if you're going to the forest, a hoot hoot of an owl, or the crunching of leaves underneath your character's foot. When a story starts off with a sound, that gets your reader excited and interested, and they want to see what's going to come next. So number 2, sound. Number 3, dialogue. This is kind of like sound, but it's when your character is saying something. So your main character says something that's interesting. For example, here, I have my character saying, what a nice day for a walk in the woods. Could be, or something exciting could be about to happen. The number 4 thing is a thought or a question. So you show what the main character is thinking, like, I wonder if there are bears out there, or raises a story question. Am I lost? It kind of hints at what's going to happen in the story, and gets the reader excited about what is going to happen next and thinking about what are the possibilities that could happen next. All right, so we have the 4 ways that writers create entertaining beginnings. Number 1, action. The main character does something. Number 2, sound. There's a sound effect, something that grabs the attention of the reader right away. Number 3, there's dialogue. The main character says something. And number 4, there's a thought or a question. I have 4 more tips for you to keep it interesting when you're writing a beginning. So tip number 1, begin your story as close to the main event as you possibly can. So consider the events that are going to be important to your story, and start as close to what's going to happen in your story as you possibly can. Number 2, begin your story in the place where it happens. So if you're writing a story about the woods, you don't need to start the story in your kitchen in the morning having breakfast, because it's not important and it's not relevant to the story. The third thing I want you to think about is get right into the action. Remember that when you're writing a story, the beginning is the very top of the narrative writing diamond, and it's a really small part, really, because what takes up the most of the story is the main event. And number 4, this is a really important tip. When you're a beginning writer, it's hard to keep track of lots of characters at the same time. So start your main character off alone. Then it's easier for you to manage what's happening in the story when you only have to think about one character that it's happening to. That doesn't mean you can't introduce new characters later, but if you start your beginning with one character, all you have to think about is what that character's thinking or hearing or saying or feeling. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and happy writing. Bye.